Afternoon, the World Team Championship final. England are the defending champions. We won the title last year in Poland. But this year up against a really formidable lineup. Denmark, skippered by Olching, who beat us in the Intercontinental final at King's Lynn. West Germany, the host country, and Russia. The English team, Dave Jessup, the skipper, Chris Morton, Kenny Carter, and John Davis, with the reserve, Gordon Kennett. It is a team event, but it relies very much on individual skills, because in each of the 16 heats, there's one rider from each country. Our commentator in West Germany, Dave Lanning.
So a swelteringly hot afternoon here at Olching, just south of Munich, for the 1981 World Team Championship final. The title, of course, that England have won 4 times in the past 7 years, but this afternoon they have their backs to the wall. Without Michael Lee, the world individual champion, who is out with a respiratory complaint, without, of course, Peter Collins, such a feature of cup-winning squads in the past for England, and they face the rampaging Danes, who beat them in the Intercontinental final at King's Lynn, plus, of course, the dangerous, potent West Germans on their own track, and the mysterious but still slightly menacing Russians. So the English boys looking to have a hot afternoon in prospect in more ways than one. The lineup for Heat 1, Egon Müller, the #1 German and many times world long track champion. He'll be on the inside in the red helmet colour. Next to him, Dave Jessup. So much hinges on Jessup's early form to inspire the Englishman here in Bavaria. Grid 3 will have the little-known Russian Viktor Korniev, and on the outside for Denmark, of course, Denmark are slight anti-post favourites. We'll have Hans Nielsen. There's Jessup just moving into grid number 2. Remember, of course, it's 4 laps of this 400-metre circuit. And we have 16 races to decide the World Team Champions in 1981. There's the Russian, and here is Hans Nielsen, on form, recent winner of the Embassy International at Wimbledon, a world individual finalist. Hans Nielsen, still a young man, still only 21, one of the dark horses for the individual championship. So the lineup for Heat 1, Müller on the inside, Jessup's in grid 2, in grid 3 is Viktor Korniev, and on the outside we have Hans Nielsen. Remember, 3 points for a win, 2 for a second, 1 for a third, no score for a last place. You really can ill afford to finish last in a World Championship. And away they go. It looks like Jessup has got the run up to the first corner. Nielsen with trouble on the outside. Jessup leads it. Second place is Müller. Third around the outside is the Russian Korniev. But it's Jessup in front and the Dane. Nielsen at the back after a terrible start. Nielsen now bursting through on the inside of the Russian Korniev. So he's into third place, and Müller's chasing hard after Dave Jessup. There is the battle, and Egon Müller on home dirt looks a lively handful. Jessup and Müller trying to widen it all around the outside. And Nielsen is back in touch, and this is a lively start to Heat 1. And Jessup has got to go for his life as Nielsen now comes up on the inside of Müller. And the first 3, there's not very much to choose between first and third, as Nielsen now moves through on the inside, and Jessup has stopped. Jessup's in trouble. Jessup's machine has faltered and cut, and that is a disastrously unlucky start for the Englishman. Nielsen has come from last to first here in Heat 1, and Jessup is way at the back. His engine stopped there about this corner on the last lap. Nielsen holds on to win it. 3 points for Denmark, 2 for West Germany, 1 for the Russians, and Dave Jessup, who led, and there is Jessup limping over the line, and that really is a terrible start, and it was unlucky too for the Englishman. And the rider delaying the start of heat number 4 is the Russian captain, Valery Gordeev, an old campaigner. We've seen him several times in individual and team cup events. Here's Kenny Carter for England, 20 years old. Kenny in his first World Cup final. A lot of responsibility on his shoulders because Denmark have made a tremendous start. Grid 2 has Valery Gordeev. Grid 3 is young Tommy Nansen, again only 19 years old, on the outside here for West Germany. And he could be a threat. George Hack. Here we go, heat 4. And from the outside it is Hack, and from the inside it is Carter, and Hack leads it. Carter is second, third is Nansen, and now the battle is on between the German and Kenny Carter. Hack made the gate from the outside. Carter's chasing hard. Knudson's back in third place. And now can Kenny Carter get up for England? And it really is getting tight there, and Carter will give nothing away as Hack locks up, and that Knudsen is up in contention around the outside of Kenny Carter for England, and here come the Danes. Carter holds off, Hack still in front. He thought the Germans might prove a bit of a handful. And Carter roaring through on the inside. It's getting awfully tight, and now Carter makes his move, and Carter moves through on the inside, but Hack is not finished, and they're absolutely shoulder to shoulder, and this is a tremendous heat four. And it's terribly tight, really is. Hack moved across in front of Carter, blocked his move. Carter will now try the outside, so I don't think there's much drive there. And we've had 4 laps of classic speed, and now Carter again makes the inside run. Can he hold on for England? Carter inside, Hack on the outside. I think Knudson's going to go through as well. He has. So over the line, it's Carter for England. Second was Knudsen for Denmark, and George Hack from Germany, who made the running the whole way, was pipped into third place, and the German crowd just can't believe it. We've had 4 races, and there you can see the leaderboard. The Soviet Union back out of contention, as we rather thought they might be, on 2 points. England battling hard after a disappointing start on 7 points. Denmark on 10, the clear leaders. And the West Germans, who we thought might be a lively handful on home dirt, on 5 points. There's Kenny Carter, young Yorkshire type. What a flying start to his World Cup debut he made. He really rode with all these typical Yorkshire grit to get up past George Hack, his rival from Germany, and going through, left a hole for the Dane Tommy Knudsen as well. Tremendous start for Kenny Carter. We know this lad to battle him. Chris Morton, little lad from Bellevue, Manchester, waiting calmly enough for the start of Heat 5, just allowing the heat and pressure off the clutch, raising the back wheel. There's Karl Mayer. He's a good rider, this German. Won the World Long Track Championship and looked pretty sprightly in British League Speedway. He's on the inside. Karl Mayer from West Germany. The Germans back on 5 points overall. Grid 2 has Tommy Knudsen. Grid 3, Chris Morton. On the outside, Victor Korniev from the Soviet Union. And away they go, and it's Knudsen who shows in front for Denmark. Knudsen leads it. Second place, coming around the outside, is Chris Morton. Morton goes around the outside, and Mayer finds some drive from somewhere there as they all tightened up for second and third place. But Knudsen from Denmark, he was the rider who hit the trap. Second place now Mayer. Chris Morton with a fair bit of work to do back in third place. As you can see, the dust is starting to fly. It is very, very dry and sweltery out there. It can't be too much fun being in the crowd as these riders go roaring by. Here is Knudsen for Denmark, and he is a bright young man, and Morton is making his big effort for second place, and he's gone around the outside of Karl Mayer. Could be a valuable point for England as the big 2, as we rather expected, begin to get their teeth into this World Cup final. Knudsen up front. Morton is really getting it all wound on now, and he's made up an awful lot of ground on Tommy Knudsen, and we just wonder if he's left his effort a bit too late. They're into the last lap, 400 metres around here, and Morton is still battling, and he might just catch Knudsen, and Knudsen is suddenly aware of him, moves over, blocks his line. A win for Denmark. Second, Morton. Good effort from the Bellevue Manchester rider, and third, Karl Mayer from West Germany. Well, they're packed in shoulder to shoulder here in Olching. There's not a lot of cover, but on an afternoon like this, I'm quite sure these fans are enjoying the sunshine. Heat 8, the lineup. George Gilgenreiner, experienced German campaigner, 27-year-old back on the inside. Next to him, the blue helmet colour, will be Hans Nielsen from Denmark. A somewhat fortuitous winner first time out. Grid 3 has Valery Gordea from the Soviet Union. On the outside, John Davis for England. England lead points from Davis in Heat 8. We have 5 adrift for the Danes. Nielsen is a dour campaigner who gives nothing away. He's in Grid 2. Davis it is who is delaying the start. He got squeezed out in his first ride. He'll be anxious to make a better break this time. Heat 8. Oh, they seem to be waiting an awful long time for the referee to press the button. They're away this time. And Davis from the outside and Nielsen from the inside. And Nielsen has got the drop on him. Although Gilgenreimer has shown for West Germany too on the inside. So it is now a real battle with Nielsen going around the outside and Davis going under Gilgenreiner very hard indeed. So Denmark, England, Germany, that's the way they line up here in Heat 8. And now Davis must really chase hard and try to find a passage somehow past Hans Nielsen. And Nielsen is not the kind of guy who normally leaves much room for speculation. Nielsen who leads, Davis chasing. Third place still is Gilgenreiner. Some rough treatment on the first lap there. And, well, it's getting so dusty out there. It's difficult for the crowd to see what's going on. And also the riders, but John Davis it is who's still making the effort for England in second place. And Nielsen seems to be countering his every move. Clever tactical ride by the Dane, and Davis is trying so very, very hard. He's tried inside around, bursting through on the inside, and I think he might just get up here, and Nielsen holds him out. Tremendous piece of action, England and Denmark. Nielsen outside, Davis on the inside. He almost squeezed by there, but the Dane is going to hold on. Nielsen wins it, Davis is second, the German Gilgenreiner was third, but another superb race in the dust, and John Davis really rode his heart out for the Lions there. So midway through this World Team Cup final, and some anxiety in the England camp. They're now 6 points behind, Denmark on 20, England on 14, the West Germans still breathing down England's neck on 12, and the USSR out of touch on 2. England have already surrendered one world crown this year, the world pairs, to the Americans, and have got to get things together and make their big effort in the second half of the programme. Heat 9 with Denmark really now just needing to hold on, and England and indeed Germany needing to produce something very special to catch them. Heat 9 has John Davis on the inside for England. There's JD, who's ridden awfully hard for 3 points in his first two rides. The Russians have really trailed quite disastrously, bringing their reserve Anatoly Maximov in blue for Valery Kordaev. George Hack there, and there's the team manager for Germany, Manfred Poschenreiter. George Hack it is in white, and on the outside the Great Dane, Ole Olsen. Olsen with a second and a third from his two rides. So, heat number 9. Davis on the inside, first time he's been on one of the inside grids. Olsen on the outside. Those perhaps are the two to watch for, though Hack has been lively from grid number 3. And away they go. And it's Davis who shows in front. Davis leads it. Hack is in second place. They tighten up. The Russian Maximov. Here's a surprise around the outside, and Russia leads it. Olsen now protects some pressure on Davis. But the Russians brought in their reserve, and it turns out he might be a bit of a trump card, because Olsen looks as though he's got around the outside of Davis as they tear in to the bottom corner, and Davis has been squeezed out, and it's getting tight, and Olsen has come from third to first, and John Davis for England has gone to the back, although he's moving inside. Hack here, back into third place. It's getting a bit hectic out there. Here's Olsen's ridden a beautiful race, must be said. And the Russian has been a surprise packet in second place. Olsen carving up the pit corner, as Davis now must make his effort to get up past this shock merchant Russian. This is lap 3, it's the third corner. This has definitely been the liveliest Russian of them all. The track has got a bit wet and sticky. Do seem to be getting filled in as the battle continues for second place, and Davis has moved through. This is Olsen, a long way in front. At the back, all the drama's been happening. We'll see in a moment that John Davis has moved into second place, and right on the line there, Hack's got up as well. Oh, that was an amazing one. And with 9 races completed, there is the pit scoreboard. You can see Denmark on 23 points, stretching their lead. And it must be said, they're going to take a fair bit of catching now. Erik Gundersen unbeaten for the Danes in 2 starts, coming into Heat 12. There is the lineup for Heat 12. Erik Gundersen on the inside. Chris Morton, as always, has been a bonny battler for the Brits. He's on 5 points and winning the second. Egon Müller, the most successful of the West Germans as we thought he might be, with a win in second place so far. And Valery Kordaev on the outside for Russia without a score yet. Gundersen then, the Danes really just need to play safe now, and surely the world crown will be theirs for the second time. England, in fact, under a fair bit of pressure from the West Germans for second place now as we come into Heat 12, and Egon Müller, who really can get the bit between his teeth when he's in the mood, in the third grid in white helmet colour here. Russia, Valery Gordeev on the outside. We remember him once being banned from a world final after they found he was using an illegal additive in his fuel. Heat 12, Gunderson impatient to get things moving, and away they go, and Gunderson is who shows. Gunderson leads it. Second place is Morton. Where is Müller? Müller's coming around the outside. He's gone past Morton, and he has gone past Gunderson, and now he's kicking on. And the West German crowd are loving every minute of this. So long an unfashionable nation in World Speedway. They're showing the big guns the way home, and Müller has got Eric Gunderson behind him, and Chris Morton is losing touch in third place, and it really has been the most disappointing afternoon for England. It must be said, they're under strength, we know, but we rather felt they might get up and beat the Germans. It looks like the jubilant and buoyant home nation are going to perhaps finish in second place, a marvellous achievement, although Morton has got back up onto the back wheel of Gunderson. Here is the battle into the last lap now, and Chris Morton has gone past Gunderson, and now he's going after Mayer and Müller, and just when we thought all might be lost, Morton has produced his party piece. Oh, what a super ride. Just when we thought that the lion's tail was down, Morton has produced his party piece around the outside of Gunderson, now around the outside of Müller, and he wins Heat 12. And at long last, the Union Jacks are hoist proudly around Olching. A really superb ride from Chrissy Morton. Just when it looked that all was lost, he's given the Lions something to fight for. Well, let's just have a look at that incredible last lap from Chris Morton again. He suddenly has gained ground on Eric Gunderson. He sails around the outside of him with everything going, and then picks up on Egon Müller. I don't think the West German was looking for him at all, and around the outside again in a really perfect piece of timed overtaking. Heat 13, the last quarter of the 1981 World Cup final, and the Danes, who have been in front throughout, now looking for just 5 points from these last 4 races for their second success in these championships. Tommy Knudsen it will be who will anchor their hopes here in Heat 13, and really if he wins this one it will surely all be over bar the shape. He's got Egon Müller out there to contend with on the outside from West Germany. As always, accomplished performer, lifts himself and his riding ability in front of his home crowd, who idolise this young man. He's from Kiel, a bit of a pop star, Egon Müller. He's been in the German charts on several occasions. Now it's not pop records, it's track records he's chasing in Heat 13. With Knudsen on the inside, John Davis got 5 points. It's been a bonny battler, haven't had much luck for England. Grid 3 has Viktor Kuznetsov from the Soviet Union, and there is Müller, who really has given the crowd plenty to leap upon their toes for here in Olching this afternoon. So Heat 13, Knudsen on the inside, Davis Grid 2, Kuznetsov Grid 3, the outside, the home idol, Egon Müller. Heat number 13. And who would it be who breaks? In fact, it was Kuznetsov from Grid 3 who gets away, though Davis has shifted him over there. Knudsen's got a clear run on the inside. He leads now with Müller in second place. Davis is third. And the Denmark contingent on their feet now as Knudsen goes for home, although he has got Egon Müller buzzing most energetically on his back wheel, and Davis is moving it as well now. And Davis has shoved them over out the way, or has he? In the melee, it is Müller who shows in front, and Knudsen's going after him, and again, we're getting something of a classic here. Müller now clearly showing. Second place is Tommy Knudsen, third place is Davis being dropped, and again this partisans of Aryan crowd are on their feet, they're shouting and raving, and Knudsen is standing on those there, but he's bored inside Müller, and we really have a battle on. We have lost John Davis with trouble at the back. The battle still is joined, and they're swapping positions on every lap, and it's terribly close in there in Heat 13. Knudsen on the outside, Müller on the inside, they're absolutely locked together. Who's it going to be over the line? It is going to be Egon Müller waving to the crowd. It really was a fine piece of speedway action. The crowd absolutely loving every minute of it. But just look at this action again in replay. This is the last corner. You can see Müller just gets his nose in front. Knudsen had ridden him hard the whole way. And as they come up to the checkered flag, there goes Egon Moeller saluting the crowd before he's even gone over the line, but it was a splendid effort. Heat 14, and here, to all intents and purposes, the Danes could wrap up the world title. They only really need a third place to put themselves in an uncatchable position, and they've got Erik Gundersen in the blue helmet colour to try and wrap it up for them. On the inside, though, the Russian, that's Viktor Korniev. Grid 2 has Gundersen, grid 3 has George Gilgenreiner on the outside. England's battling young Kenny Carter. Here we go for heat 14, and the tapes were very nearly broken by the Russian. Referee Christer Bergström from Sweden, allowing time to resettle. Here we go again. And Carter has had a flyer from the outside, and so too has Gundersen from grid 2. So Carter coming sweeping around the outside, he leads it. Gundersen is second, in third place is Gilgenreiner, but that really was a picture start from Kenny Carter. Carter leads, second place Gundersen, third is Gilgenreiner. And the Danes, well, I don't think they'll be too concerned about this. It's good news for England because the Germans had got their noses in front of them for second place. The second place here will be enough for Denmark. We have lost the rider in red, the Russian, that's Korniev. Nobody really is too concerned about that because the Russians are way out of touch. There he is. But if they stay as they are, and it doesn't look as though there is going to be any major change short of some kind of mechanical defect, this really should be enough for the Danes. Gundersen sitting back, Carter leading, third place the German. But Kenny Carter, who made that tremendous start from the outside, came roaring around the boards, is going to win heat 14. But that effort has just come a bit too late for the English side because the Danes, with that second place, as Gundersen goes over the line, have now wrapped up their second World Cup success, and they're going to be waiting for him back at the pit gate. And down on the pit gate, up in the air goes Gundersen in the traditional victory salute, and the Danes have won their second World Cup. They're overjoyed, as well they might be, but in all honesty, they have looked